When my children go outside to ride their bicycles, I give them sound parenting advice. Wear a helmet. Imagine not telling your children to wear a bicycle helmet or put on a seatbelt. Imagine not teaching them to share their toys or say please and thank you. When our children are young, we teach them how to take care of their bodies and how to get along well with others. After all, isn't that our job as parents and caregivers to keep them healthy and safe? These parenting basics seem common sense, yet over time, these discussions and pieces of advice tend to stop. The result? Many people enter young adulthood not knowing how to protect their bodies when engaging in sexual activity, nor how to help reduce sexual violence, nor how to enter into consensual, respectful relationships. Why is that? Perhaps their parents had never taught them how to have these conversations. We can all remember when we were 8, 10, or 12 years old. Our bodies were changing, our friends were changing, and for many of us, sex education in the home was non-existent. And at school, it often consisted of the gym teacher reviewing dry anatomy slides. But overall, it was a puzzle we were left to figure out on our own. This is partially because our parents were never taught how to have these conversations with us. Let's be honest, we didn't wear bicycle helmets or put on seatbelts either. Recently, I was speaking to 3 women who got their periods at age 10. Each one told of stories of shame and embarrassment, tears of fear, or just plain lack of information. Although their parents had started the conversation, it wasn't enough for them by age 10. I was talking to parents of 4th graders, and one mom said to me, "I feel pretty good. I thought the conversation went well." When I spoke to the daughter, I was informed she'd really been talking about sex with her friends since 2nd grade. Another mom said, when asked about reproduction and where babies are made, she pointed her daughter to the internet. Today, ignorance, myths, and pornography are just a click away. Where should our children learn about sex and healthy relationships? From the internet? From their friends on the playground? Or from discussions today? I'm here today to help make your life easier and tell you that talking to your children about sex, consent, and healthy relationships can be as easy and commonplace as, well, wearing a helmet. I'm going to ask you all to breathe. As I know the concept of talking to your children about sex may seem daunting and huge, but it's my goal that each one of you will be a first responder in your children's life when it comes to sex and sexuality. And it's easier than you think, so let's get started. The first thing they need to know is their body's important. We're pretty good at this conversation when they're younger. We just need to continue the message. Wear a helmet, your body's important. Brush your teeth, your body's important. And later in life, use condoms, your body's important. We need to start talking to our children day 1. It's never too early to begin, and we need to start before they ask questions. When our children are born, we teach them they have 2 eyes, a nose, 10 toes, but we shy away from the correct names of their genitals or where babies are made from. Wee wee and VV just don't gain the same respect as penis and vulva. Don't worry, if you haven't started yet, today can be your day 1. In many circles, I am lovingly known as Penis, Vagina, Egg, Sperm Lady. This is a title I wear with pride, as I strongly believe that parents need to have the conversation with their kids, no matter how much they may dread it. And believe it or not, it takes less than a minute. So you take a deep breath and we say usually. We say usually because it could be mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, adoption, or in vitro scenarios, but usually, when mommy and daddies want to make a baby, they get naked. This is not for you, this is for grown-ups only. The man's penis goes inside the woman's vagina. The woman has an egg, not the size of a chicken egg, but the size of a sharpened pencil point. And the man has a sperm. Sperm and egg get together, they make a baby. It grows in a special place in the mom called the womb or the uterus. and after approximately 9 months, baby's ready to come out. Voila! See? It can be that easy. But this is not where it ends. Too many parents get stuck on the penis, vagina, egg, sperm conversation and don't move forward. Which brings me to the second point to remember. Talking to your children about sex is not a single conversation. It is hundreds of small conversations. And it's not all about biology either. It's important to know the facts, but it's our own personal beliefs and inner values that help us make decisions. Our children need to develop their own inner voice to learn how to assert and protect themselves. I see many parents of elementary school kids saying, "Put on your jacket, it's cold outside." What would be the harm in letting them decide for themselves to wear or not wear their jackets? Don't they know their bodies better than us anyway? Our children need to practice developing their own inner voice and making decisions for themselves, by themselves, about their bodies. Overall, it's about teaching them that they have control over their bodies and nobody can touch them without consent. It's about developing the skills and the confidence and knowing when to say no, how to say yes, and when to speak up when something doesn't feel right. Imagine a world where we engaged in activities we wanted to, with people we wanted to be with. Imagine a culture where we ask people to join us in activities and they can accept or decline. Does it really matter what these activities are? Would you like to go fishing? Would you like to play frisbee? Are you in the mood to cuddle? Would you like to have sex? Shouldn't all decisions be consensual? Women who were sexually assaulted on college campuses were asked what they wished their parents had taught them. And this is what they said. What is a healthy relationship? That sexual assault was never their fault, and what consent really means. Which brings me to my third point. Talking to your children about sex includes teaching them your personal values and giving them the guidance they need to navigate these complex relationships. From age 17, the average age of first vaginal intercourse, to 28, the average age of marriage, should they choose or be legally allowed to do so, they have approximately a decade of, well, perhaps engaging in sexual activities. We can be the generation to help them navigate that decade. Keeping our children healthy and safe includes reducing unwanted pregnancies, preventing sexually transmitted infections, and teaching them how to have relationships that are consensual and respectful. We spoke about the facts, but that was just the tip of the iceberg. What about your values? You know, the things you teach them at home that you hope they practice when you're not there? Have we been modeling them at home? How often are we discussing them with our children? For example, how do you feel when your children's friends come over and their bedroom doors are closed at age 6, at age 10, at age 17? What are you going to say to them about pornography at age 11, at age 17? What are their responsibilities as a bystander when they see others gossiping or know that others are being physically harmed? Have we been clearly communicating our beliefs with our children and giving them guidance? Or are we leaving it to them to navigate on their own? And well, we're there if they have questions. I would encourage you to take the please and thank you set of values we taught them as toddlers and continue the conversation through puberty into young adulthood. When our children were little, we said to them, share, play nicely, 1,000,000 times. I would encourage you to expand upon that and teach them to be respectful, compassionate, and trustworthy so that they too, one day, can engage in positive, intimate relationships. So do the work. Think about your personal values and then say to them over and over again. They may roll their eyes, act as if they aren't listening, or even give you grief. But in the end, They will be better partners in future relationships for the guidance you have given them. These are the values that will last a lifetime. I want to get back to consent. Every state defines rape, consent, and sexual assault differently, so I can appreciate why this may be confusing. But I want to make sure you understand the basic concepts of consent. Consent needs to be clear and unambiguous, voluntary, revocable at any point in time, and needs to be discussed with each activity. Consent is not the absence of no. We need to practice asking as well as listening and answering each other. A senior in high school said to me recently, "You mean consent is all about communicating with your partner?" Yes, it is, and it can be that easy. We as parents need to model this for our children when they are younger. For example, would you like a hug? Would you like to be tickled? So why is all this so important, and why am I up here anyway? Personally, I have children and desperately want college campuses to be safer for them. But if it's not your child, it could be a best friend's child, or a niece, or a nephew, or even a future daughter-in-law. Overall, it's about protecting all the ones we love. One sexual assault happens every 107 seconds. Think about it. That means since I've been standing up here, 6 sexual assaults have happened. 1 in 5 women on college campuses experience sexual assault or an attempt. We have to change this for our children. Imagine the type of relationship you dream of for your children. We have the power to create a world where decisions are consensual, voluntary, clear. We can change the current status from that of a rape culture to that of a consent culture. While this is a huge responsibility, it's a huge opportunity, and each one of you have a role to play. So go home, talk to your kids, listen to them, breathe, help create the world we all want to live in and can be proud of. And remember, today can be your day one. Thank you.